Now today, we're going to talk about water supply and where water comes from. So the first thing we're going to look at is the hydrologic cycle. Find out where that water comes from and how it moves around this world. Now the interesting thing is that there never is any gain or loss of water effectively in the world. It just keeps moving around. As it moves from one place, it is deposited in another and it just recycles. Now, unfortunately, only about 1% of all the water on the earth is usable fresh water. So we got all this huge amount of water in these oceans, and it's not very usable for growing crops. In fact, not usable at all. 95% of the supplies in the world are like the ocean. And by the time we get it from all the glaciers and all of the ice caps consumed up, and in the fresh water that's stored in those spots, we have very little left of fresh water that's really available for human resources. But what we do have, we have to use as efficiently as possible, especially as there's more and more people in the world. It takes more and more water. Every one of us demands so much water a day. You know, we're using water in our daily lives, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, on the lawn, washing the car, and you can just go on with how we consume water. And then all the products that we consume. You know, how many gallons of water does it take to produce 1 pound of foodstuffs in America? By the time you grow it and process it and get it to your kitchen and clean it and have it ready to use, there's a lot of gallons of water goes into a pound of food. I don't know exactly what that number is, but it is very significant. And in many parts of the world, water is becoming the commodity of scarcest resource. You know, it's not easy to transport lots and lots of water. And there's places in the world that don't have fresh water very accessible. So we have to be able to figure out ways to move water to people or people to water. So we'll look at the hydrologic cycle and see what happens with all this water. So we'll start off here with a landform. Another beautiful picture. And out here we got the ocean. Now from the ocean, which is a very huge storage of water, we get evaporation. Fortunately, water that evaporates out of the ocean does not carry salts. The salts do not evaporate. So pure water evaporates out of the ocean. Then we have to rely on this evaporation then forming clouds. These clouds then are pushed over a landmass by wind. So that's our radiant heat source. And then we use the wind as our transport to move that water sideways. And of course most clouds end up discharging their water over ocean. But some of it does get up over the landmass, and then we have precipitation. So these clouds come out back over a landmass, and then we get precipitation. It can be rain, it can be up in the mountains, we can have snow. And then when we do have snow, then we have a storage, a surface storage. Snow gives us surface storage. Rain is going to give us some surface water. because one thing it's going to do, it's going to form streams. And so we'll have streams then that will come down, and the snow will also supply streams, and those streams then will eventually run to the ocean or a trapped basin somewhere. And that gives us surface water to use. So we can pump out of streams, we can pump out of lakes, we can pump out of reservoirs that we create from the streams.